Morning, Captain. Hey, Zai. Doug, how are you getting on? So this consolidation, I'm in the SVB Financial. It's a bank that's basically in a lot of problems since yesterday. This was a $300 a share bank. So it's gone, what, 99%, whatever. No, 90%. Lost 90% of its value overnight. It's now a $30 stock. It was a $300 stock yesterday. Oh, no, I'm not taking it. I'm taking on the Friday bulls, absolutely, with this stock. I've already made 10k on the small account. I'm 11k. I was 15k up on the on this account, and then I just given back 4 because I got in at for the break of 36, and it reversed. So I sized down. I was in for 2,500 shares, so I sized down for a loss, and it's on short sale restrictions. So it's actually it's complex to short it. It is shortable. It's relatively easy to borrow, but it is on short sale restrictions. So shorting it when it's moving quick and selling off is actually hard. You've got to wait for it to move back up. Well, I was 10k up on the small account as well. So I'll just flick quickly across to the small account. You can see I finished that 10,300, nearly 10,400 up. The goal was 1,700 bucks today on the small account, 1,750. I think I've smashed that goal today on the small account. But look, it is what it is, and here we go. I'm just going to leave this in. I'm not even going to get greedy and add to the position. Oh, I might do. Let's see if I can get below 34. Low of day currently is 33.40. So we can create a new low. I might sell more, or I might just cover now and call it a day. 34.40 is the low of day at the moment. Struggling here. No what? This is consolidation here. It's trying to get lower. Morning, Kyle. Good to see you, buddy. Hope you're having a good Friday. 10k on the small account, Jack. Absolutely. Don't worry, I'll put the recording of the trade in the on the trade recap later, Jack. You can watch it later on YouTube. I really wanted to make a cup of tea before I you know what? I'm just going to get out. I'm going to stay 10k up. I'm just going to put the fire on for you. Come on, you can come in, it's cold. I know it's sunshiny. Let's make that warm myself up. You can tell I'm making decent money this week. I'm putting the fire on. I'm full. Hey Robbie, how you doing, buddy? Having a good day, a really good day yesterday. I'm already 20k up on the day today. So it's 10 on this account, 10 on the other account. So I'm over goal on both days. This could only be absolutely, Robbie. This is the problem with it. I mean, I don't mind making money myself, but if you think about the wider implications, you've got this bank. Let's have a look at what SI is doing as well. So Silvergate Capital. Well, this one's actually up, but this one's down heavy. I mean, we're talking $3 a share now. So for Silvergate. So across the two banks that are being heavily shorted at the moment. Yes, yes, I don't. My day trading account, the proceeds that I make on my day trading account, I then take at the end of each month. And I've not done that for a couple of months. I've taken that and I put them into longer term investments, safer, longer term holdings. But my day trading account is pretty much in cash, except for when I'm in a trade. But I don't hold trades overnight in this account. So the money that I make intraday is cash the next day. It's because it's a margin account, it's instant settlement as well. So there's no T+2 settlement issues either. So yeah. Yeah, well, if this goes, yeah, I was right to cut that at the right time. So it broke the 20 EMA. So I thought, okay, it's been under the 20 EMA this whole time on this route down. What I'll do is I'll just quickly nip across to the other account and show you exactly where I traded it. So I got in here as this broke $50. It did pull back at pull up, so I held this. I went about $6 or $7 in the hole, or 6 or 7,000 in the hole. When it's on short sale restrictions list, you have to put the sell order in above the price action. I was waiting for it to pull back, and it had this little bump here and went a little bit higher than I expected it, but it rejected at the 9 EMA and carried on selling. So then I started covering there. And covered a partial here and then the rest. So then I switched over to my main account and tried to get in at the same place, which was here, but it just didn't pull back for me to be able to do that. So I had to wait for it to then bounce for me to get in and short it, and I was shorting like about 40. I think my first short position on this was 43.66. So I put this. I think I put the sell order at 43.50. It came up and filled it at 43.66, and then rode it all the way down. I covered down here, and then I went short again here at just under $36, and it started to move back up. So I sized down, and then I just exited the position for small loss over here. So I don't think it's done yet, but I'll wait for it to break 36 before I get back in. Good afternoon, Alberto. I need my key. There we go. Hey, Alien. Hey, Vol. Yeah, it's not been halted down though. It halted down yesterday a couple of times. I mean, it gapped down yesterday heavy. I mean, let's look at this chart on the 15 minutes. So I'm kind of just watching this from. It's halted now pending news. Thank God. So it's halted to the upside. It's just not halted up. It's not a volatility halt. It's a news pending halt. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with that. But we'll see. I was going short on it. I'm not at the moment. I'm not in it. I'm glad I got out. I got it here just after 8:30. So and it started to move. Once it broke the 20 EMA, I cut it for a small loss. I was about 15 grand up. Oh dear. Are you in long on this one, trade one? Trade on one. No, it's not at 100 there. Trade on one. Oh, Robbie, I've got it. It's not at 100. It's at 39.40. $40 or whatever. Let's see what happens with the news. Interesting to see what news comes out on it. I've got it at $57 on Benzinga. This could bounce. This could be a good one to go long if we get good news and it bounces. Right, let's have a look. SVP financial turmoil prompts sell-side and analyst to steer clear. No. I'll wait for the news to drop on that. We'll see. Yeah, but it's halted, so that's just showing partial level 2. I mean, I've got level 1. I've got level 2 here at 43, 60, 62. Oh, there we go. Yeah, it's up at $100 on there, but it's the level 2, so I don't think it's going to resume at over $100 there, Robbie. Skylar, that trade was shorting SVB Financial Group. Started short. I've made actually 20. So this is only half of what I've made. So I've made I've made 10,000 on the small account. Small account. That's a joke now, isn't it? And 10,000, pretty much the same on both accounts, but just shorting it in different places. So it's a good start to the day. Get green, stay green, get to gold, get out. Well, I might not trade anymore. I might just sit here for 2.5 hours while I've committed to the stream and sit here drinking tea and talking about life. Like, get me on one of my rants. Why not? What time is it? 13:40? I'm sure it's 5 p.m. somewhere. It might be wine time already. you know. So what does on the restrictions list mean? Basically, you can't short it with the market. You can't put any marketable short orders in there. So what a short sell restriction means that if you put a marketable sell order in, it will be rejected. Or if you put an order below the bid, it will be rejected. So you have to put a sell order above the price action and wait for it to bounce and come back to you. The advantage of doing that is the way I've got it set up on my system is I can put it in, the order will put up, the sell order will go up on the system. Let's say it's at 39.40 on here. If this was where the action was taking place, I put a sell order at 40, and then as it moves up, it reaches 40 on the bid, I then get sold. So I'm actually losing, so I'm counter trending at that particular moment in time because it's moving upwards, and I'm betting on it actually reversing and moving downwards. So what then happens is as it moves down, if I don't get filled, my sell order doesn't get filled, because of the way I've got the system set up, I can actually move my sell order down behind the price action until it does bounce and fill me, and that's what actually happened here. So I was selling this on the small account. So as this broke down here, we got this this bounce here on the small account. That's where I got in. So I couldn't get in here because it was just selling. So then I got this bounce. I got here on the small account. It then sold off, and I was able to take some profits and cover. And then I tried to get in here. I ended up getting in here. So as this moved up, I put a sell order here, and it sold, and then it came back for me. So it actually moved up above here and then sold off. So you get liquidated trade on one. In theory, Alex, yes, shorting is more dangerous than going long, because when you go long, the worst that can happen. Let's say this. I go long on SIVB. The most I go long here at 39.40. The most I could lose is $39.40 a share if it goes to zero. In theory, so I take whatever position I take. In theory, if I'm in a cash position, I could lose whatever position I've bought in at, no more. So I can lose 100%. However, if you go short, this could essentially rally. If I could bought in at 39.40, it could go up to 60. It could go up to 160. It could go up to 500. So the potential for losses going short, liquidations aside, is infinite. So shorting can be more dangerous, absolutely. So that's right, a sell limit order above the ask, absolutely. Do I get a lot of snow done? No, we don't get a lot of snow, but it did snow last night. It's not stuck. There's a bit of snow on the ground. If there's a certain 30k shortfall, that means you owe your broker. If you've not been liquidated, usually they put measures in place that they will liquidate you before you actually reach zero unrealized. But if for whatever reason after, usually what happens is your position gets liquidated before you reach zero. But then you end up going beyond zero, and I know from personal experience, having blown up my account 3 times, having blown up my account 3 times, they'll then leverage all the charges on top of that, which then can take you negative, and then you owe you the broker money. And in theory, depending on how much it is, they could come after you for that money legally. Yes, it was, Alex. What's the catalyst on SIVP? I'll read it out directly for you. Shall I? SIVP. Catalyst here. It's a bank that's in trouble right now. It's the Silicon Valley Bank, and it's a bit like Silvergate Capital a couple of days ago. There's a lot of catalysts here, but what's the best one to? Okay, so basically they're being advised to seek a government bailout. They're in the bank. It's a bank that's in serious trouble. I'm just trying to find out what the reason for the trouble is, but they're in serious trouble, and it's halted at the moment. It's halted pending news, so I'm not in it. The problem that you've got here right now is it's halting news pending. This could get delisted, and then you're struggling. If you've bought shares and it gets delisted, you've got shares of the company, but you don't know if you won't be able to trade it. Your equity's then tied up, and you don't know what, if it comes back, you don't know what your shares are going to be worth. You could end up losing most, if not all of it. You've got the other situation, news pending. If it's halted pending investigation, you could lose everything as well, depending on what the situation is. So this is the second worst halt that you can get, is a halt due to news pending. So we're just waiting on the news to come out on what's going on with SVB, but it looks like it's struggling to stay afloat. If it's delisted and you're short, you could be, like I say, you could be in a lot of bother, because you don't own. If you're short, you don't own the shares. Shorting is just the inverse of going long. The same principles apply. The difference being was what you tend to find is short moves tend to be stronger, because fear is a stronger emotion than greed. Why is that? Why is the sky blue? So the question here is, DocuSign had good earnings report, yet it still dropped in price. Why is that? And the swift answer is, why is the sky blue? Why is the grass green? Except that I suppose they have scientific answers that make logical sense. I suppose the easier analogy I can use on that question is, why does my girlfriend get mad at me? You know, sometimes you're just never going to know. So which is why I say trade the price action, not the report. Don't try and anticipate particularly around earnings. Don't try and anticipate the catalyst, the market reaction to a catalyst. We just saw recently, which one was it that was going bankrupt? Bed Bath & Beyond. So Bed Bath & Beyond announced they'd filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy, and the stock rallied. Why is that? It's going out. Revlon did the same thing last year. So that's a negative news catalyst that you would think, okay, stay away from that company, sell everything that you've got with it. It's going bankrupt, and it rallies. The stock price rallies. I've seen positive earnings get sold off, like DocuSign yesterday. I've seen negative earnings, like Weight Watchers, take off and rally. So you never know how the market's going to react to a specific catalyst. Just trade the price action. Excuse me. Trade the price action, not the actual, not the catalyst itself. It depends what the market's looking for. And again, it's not just the earnings report either; it's the outlook as well. If when we get on the conference call, what is the outlook? What are they saying about the company going forward? Does it have a positive outlook? When they start doing the dropping the earnings report, they usually look at the balance sheet as well. How much debt are they in? There's a whole bunch of earnings, a whole bunch of information that comes out at earnings, particularly on the quarterly reports, yeah, you just don't know how the market's going to react. Guidance is another good thing. Like I say, the outlook can be a massive issue. That's shorting, yes, absolutely. The analogy that I've used is my friend's got an iPhone. He's got an iPhone X that he doesn't use. So I've got another friend that wants to buy one, but he doesn't want to buy retail for it. So I go to my friend and say, "Can I borrow your phone?" I'll give you back in a couple of. I'll give you back in a couple of weeks. So I'll go back and sell it to my other friend for just slightly less than retail, knowing full well that the next iPhone version is coming out. So when the next iPhone version comes out, all the iPhone X's they're obsolete. So you can pick them up for next to nothing on the resale market, because everybody that likes iPhones wants to go and buy the latest and the greatest, because they're all part of a cult. So you go then and buy. You've sold that one you borrowed off your friend to the guy that wanted it, and he wanted it now, and you sold it for $500 or whatever it is. So then you go and buy the new one at $300, and you give the phone that you buy for $300 to your friend that you borrowed it off in the first place, and you're making $200 the profit. Well, I'm not going to sit here and wait for this for this news to drop. We'll find it. I'll keep that page open. Let's have a look at Silvergate. I don't like Silvergate for a long, but wow. Where's my cursor? Open details on Silvergate. Has this just dropped news? I think Silvergate we're looking for 8:45. No news. I view that with trepidation. So Silvergate is nearly 70% short, 68% short on last reporting. So everybody, the majority of people that are trading Silvergate are betting against it rather than for it. So it's 68% short float. It is a 31 million float, Silvergate. So, but 68% short. So it could trigger a short squeeze. Of course, it could. What's the short interest on SVB? The last reporting there wasn't a huge short. I guarantee that the short interest is huge now. 52 million shares in the float. For a bank, that's kind of relatively small float for a bank of their size. So it depends, Alex. So on the trading platform, you've got two scenarios. If it's easy to borrow, then your broker will have shares for you to borrow, and in which case there's usually no locate fees or borrow fees. incurred unless you hold it overnight. If you hold it overnight, if you for an intraday trade, intraday short trade, an easy to borrow stock, you're not going to. It's not going to cost you any more to go short than it would to go long. Now, if it's hard to borrow, that means that your broker will not have any shares available, and then you've got to go out to the market. And there's a number of different routes that you can use. You've got to go out to the market, and you've got to search for locate shares to borrow. You will be charged a locate fee, which is the cost to borrow those shares. If you agree to that cost, that will come off your balance at the end of the day. That's a charge that's levied by your broker at the end of the day for how many ever shares that you want to borrow, and then you can short up to that amount throughout the course of the day. You will then have to give those shares back at close of day. So that's how that works. I should do a video on how to locate shorts. It's a lot of people are long biased because they don't know how to short, particularly when it's hard to borrow, and they don't know what the costs are and implications are. Now, the costs can be quite expensive and it can be off-putting. If it's hard to borrow, sometimes the costs are just prohibitive. So, for example, a couple of weeks ago, I shorted something, and then a day later, I looked to borrow shares to short it again. It was hard to borrow. And I looked to borrow on the day I shorted it. It was like 40. I think it was 45 cents a share to borrow. So it basically meant I had the price action had to move at least 45 cents just for me to break even. So it's like adding that extra amount onto the spreads for you. But the day after, it was $1.70 to borrow per share. So it was like it was cost prohibitive. Why would I do that? It just made no sense. It depends on the price action. So if this gets over $4, it depends on how it's looking. Right now, I'm not seeing this as a trade that I want to take right now. For the initial pump, you don't want to be jumping in straight away chasing it. You want to wait for a pullback and then the new highs. You want the confirmation. If you're a confirmation trader, which is what I tend to be, rather than anticipating the move up, if it's got a good catalyst, you might look for the anticipation move and look for the continuation, and I'll do that with a good catalyst. So a stock that's moving with good momentum, it's got a catalyst that's underpinning that good momentum, good volume, that's fine. But on a stock like this where I can't see a catalyst, other than a potential short squeeze, the volume's come in, but it's reached the high, first pullback, and now we're looking for some kind of sign that there's going to be a move back up, a continuation. I'm not seeing that right now. This looks like it might pull all the way back to the VWAP, possibly even beyond. So yeah, I've been looking at that all day. It's halted at the moment. I'm not looking to trade Ocean Bio today. I'm just going to change these on these scanners here, actually. So Well, let's have a look. So Silvergate's pulling back there. Let's go back to SIVB, and right now there's no price. Still halted. New pending news. I'm not seeing any break of that news. There's the last order that went through was 857. There's an order there that went through on 8. How long has this been halted? So this halted at 8:35, which makes no sense because I'm seeing an order on the ticker tape there at 8:57 for 23,000 shares. Someone's just bought 23,000 shares. That's on the tape, yeah. No, you see, at $60, yeah. So that's off. That's dark pools. That's off exchange. That's got to be off exchange trading. 23,000 shares at $60. I've got a bunch of orders have gone through there. 8:37, just after the order, just after the market. A bunch of orders have gone through at over $100. These are kind of small lots, ones and twosies. But yeah, the ticker tape. I can see what you mean. Yeah, dark pool. It might be a misprint. Could be misprint because I can't see how on the exchange at least. I can't see how on the exchange there's trading at $60 for 23,000 shares. After 30 minutes after it halted, it just doesn't make sense. So no, it's hundreds. They're in lots of hundreds trade on one. The tape in the level 2 is lots of hundreds, not thousands. I'm not sure, Kyle. I'm not sure. Do I have a high success with shorting? I probably have a higher success with shorting than going long. Probably have a higher success going short than I do going long. Why? Because I don't do it very often, and when I do it, it's usually an A+ setup. So I probably have a greater percentage of short success than long success, but the data set's a lot smaller. Right. Okay, Robbie. I'm not a short bias trader. It's just not expensive. It's too expensive. So a couple of things would make me short, about being a short bias trader. Firstly, I've got all my hotkeys and all my setup. It's set up to be long biased. But the second thing is you've got a lot more nuance around short trading that you've got to take into effect. You've got, is the stock shortable? Some stocks are just not shortable at all. If it is shortable, is it easy to borrow? Is it hard to borrow? If it's hard to borrow, what's the cost to borrow? Is it on short sale restriction? There's a whole bunch of things. Whereas if you're a long bias trader, all you really need to know is the technicals and the price action. I'm just coming back out of this and going back to Yeah, so Silvergate had a little bit of consolidation up at 350, had a bit of support at 350, then just blasted through that and through the VWAP. And so this is why you don't want to be chasing them. This had a really big pump here. This is why you don't want to chase it, because it's not sustainable. The shorts are very much in control with Silvergate. And let's have a look at what else is moving. So Ocean Bio, that was the big movie yesterday, is below. It's below the VWAP. It's below $9. The volume's not great, so you don't get married to a stock. You make your gains as it moves and then move on. If you get continuation, great. By all means, trade the continuation, but you don't get married to the stock just because it pays out one day. You know. Yeah, news on. Apparently, they've been unable to raise funding. That's what I'm seeing. Oh, that's what I'm hearing, rather. SVB Financial in talks to sell itself now. Well, CNBC's David Faber says that SVB Financial capital raise is failed. They announced a 1.25 billion common stock offering. So the momentum just continues. So that's one. So there's a 1.25 billion common stock offering on it. It's not moving at all. It's we'll see, when it resumes. I honestly can't see it resuming at $100 a share, but we'll see. What, ever, Alistair? Ever? Are you migrating to the moon? I mean, you can watch me now on Twitter, Twitch, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, ShareVision. So, you know, I'm all over it. I'm everywhere. Yeah, the capital the attempts to raise capital have failed. So it looks like SVB might be going to the wall. And I've not even looked. So this is something when you get so in. Maybe it's just me. I mean, you tell me if you're like this when you're trading. You get so tunnel vision and tuned in that you forget everything else. You don't look at anything else. That's what happened to me with Ocean Bio yesterday. I was so tuned, didn't even realize that the market was hemorrhaging. And that's the market was hemorrhaging. A lot of it was to do with Silvergate, and a lot of it was to do with SVB and just general tech stock tech sector weakness. It's green today at the moment, though. The ticker is moving in halt. I can't see that. How's it moving in the halt? Oh, ticker's moving. Yeah, absolutely. $60 a share. So small orders going through. There's probably going to be resuming anytime soon. This will be, yeah, the tape's moving. I can see the tape moving, but this will be market makers clearing the books before the resumption. Yeah, SVB's for sale. Look, I'm happy. Yeah, they'll be clearing a lot of off-exchange trading. So the exchange gets the exchange gets halted, but pending news. But there'll still be off exchange trading going on. And we'll see what happens. Well, I'm just going to keep an eye on it. So at the moment, I've locked the small account montage. I mean, there's no need for me to go back to that one. 10k on the small account. That's like almost a 30%. That's about 35% gain on in terms of equity on the account for small account. That's a huge gain, but it's a 20k day so far. So I will probably trade small. If I'm trading, I'll trade small. I just want to see what happens at the open. Yeah, you need to quit doing that with Miel Puno. That's the second time you've done that. Me singing silly tunes. But yeah, actually, I'll give it a like. Okay, let's get ready for the bell. Let's see what the rest of the day has to bring. It looks like SVB. So the ticker tape slowed down now. Should resume any sometime soon. Get rid of that news article up there. Yeah, Vols, good day so far. I'm more focused on the price action, Richard. I'll look at so what you've got to, you don't want to be trying to trade the level 2, because the level 2 can be manipulated, and so you can get spoof orders in there first and foremost, and they can be cancelled before it actually happens. So level 2, it's not a good way to trade. Just concentrating on the level 2 is probably not a good way to trade. Trade the price action. Look at the level 2. If you see seller walls on the level 2, you're approaching a resistance level, you know that the resistance level is likely to hold, at least for now. What you can use level 2 for is when you get a seller wall and you're looking for, if your price action is calling at a resistance level and you're getting a seller wall, you can watch the level 2. You actually see the seller wall thinning out. It starts to thin out, and you get into the last few orders on the level 2. You know that you can actually anticipate the break and maybe buy in at that stage for it to break through. So level 2 is good for that. I don't know about. I've not listened to Kramer. Yes, Deloitte. It's a very good start to the day. Well, you know there's an ETF now. It's called the Inverse Kramer ETF, and it's actually really profitable. And it just basically does the absolute opposite of what Kramer recommends. And it started off as a joke, but it's actually making money. There is I think there's a parody account on Twitter as well, which is oh, what was that? I've got Bloomberg News on in the background. I've got it on mute. So they've got SVB breaking news. So the market's going red on the day. I'll just keep that out in the background. I can listen to it at the same time. I just okay. So let's see what else aside from the big names, SIVB. What are you guys watching? I'm just now looking at my scanners for the long side, and now just looking at what potential there is. So a couple of lower price penny stocks that are up over kind of 20%. We'll see. I won't be doing a power hour stream tonight, that's for sure. Well, I hope the a short squeeze comes in for you and it goes to $5 or something, El Puno. But you've seen me buying the dip. You've seen how rarely I still do it now. Buying the dip is not a good strategy. No, it's nice and sunny today. It's not snowing anymore. It snowed overnight, but it's not snowing anymore. It's nice and sunny. The hairy beast here really enjoyed. Didn't you? You really enjoyed going out in the snow. She likes the snow. Morning, Penn State. Go get your day trade with Tony merchandise now. Silvergate's up 14%, but it's not holding above the VWAP. Where are you based, Don? Alaska? My goodness, it's not. So first replica, FRC is down heavy as well. Look at that. SBNY. All the banks are having a nightmare. Even Zion's Bank Corporation. That's less volume, but yeah, I mean, First Republic is down hard as well. I'm just watching it on Bloomberg as it happens. You get big snow every year though. They're done. Well, California's a big state. It's a massive state. You get all, you know, you get all kinds of weather conditions there. Good skiing. You can get great skiing in California, but also you can go to the beach in California. So it depends on whereabouts in California you are. You've got mountains in California that you can go skiing on. You've got the beaches on the coast. California's a huge state with multiple weather zones and weather patterns. Mark, it's the way that TraderView calculates it. So if I take a trade at 9:30 and I'm in at 9:30, I'm out at 9:35, and then I take another trade on the same ticker at 9:55 and I'm out at 10 o'clock, that's 10 minutes of open trading on that ticker. But it puts that down as one trade for 30 minutes. So that's how it calculates the hold time. It's slightly confusing that way, but unless you break it out per entry as opposed to per trade, it basically looks at the first trade that you open to the last trade that you close, and everything in between is a hold. So that's the way it calculates it, Mark. I don't mind the temperatures when it's been snowing. Once there's a good layer of snow on the ground, you don't feel the sub-zero temperatures. The amount of times I've actually been sunburnt when I've been skiing. Talking of skiing, enjoy the slopes there, Alistair. Next week. And the thing is, if I broke it out for every entry and exit, it would look like I've had more trades. But you getting in on a trade, getting stopped out, then it's the same trade. It's just a different expression of the same trade. If you get into a position long, you take some profits, it comes back and you move your stop and it stops you out for break even, then it moves back up and you re-enter. That's still the same trade. But it's just two expressions of the same idea. We've got 7 minutes, 6 minutes, 6.5 minutes to the bell. Yeah, it's still halted. So first, short the banks. There's a whole bunch of banks in trouble by the looks of it. Short the banks. Let's have a quick look at the pre-market losers as opposed to the pre-market gainers on the scanner, and we'll see exactly what's going on. SVB Financial, that's a bank. First Republic Bank, that's a bank. PacWest Bank, that's a bank. Ocean Biomedical, that had a big run yesterday, so that's down. Signature Bank, DocuSign's down on earnings. That's an ETF. Zions Bank, Gap's not having a good time. For most of these top losers, I would say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Five of the top 8 losers today are banks. So look at if it's something that a lot of them are on short sale restriction as well. So just which basically means if you're going to short it, you have to place a limit sell order above the ask. And hope it bounces and comes back and collects you. So that's how you get around the short sale restriction. You can still short it. Some you just can't short, but liquid stocks like this you can short, but it has to be your sell order has to be above the ask. Well, people have been talking about Deutsche Bank going to the wall for quite some time. So let's see, but. We've got 5 minutes to the bell. 5 minutes to the open, 5 minutes to the bell. It's got to be... What did I short? I shorted SVB Financial. Super chip. I got on that pretty much out the block. So when I was able to... I managed to trade it on the small account. So... Small account here. This is SVB Financial. I managed to get a little over 10,385 on the small account. and 10,395 on the main account. It's funny how it's very coincidence that it's pretty much the same, within $10 of each other. It is coincidence that it's the same amount, but yeah. So I've got effectively just over $20,000 a day already today. I'll take a look at that for you, El Puno. I love the way you call out these at harvest. Why are you trading that garbage? Please don't tell me you're in that. 9% up on the day, 85 cents, but 9% up on the day. Did try and test $1, but that's a garbage chart. I wouldn't touch that. I wouldn't touch it with yours, El Puno. Azul, no volume at the moment. Slightly up on the day, 4%, but there's no volume. It's 818s below the VWAP. Needs volume. So there's nobody. Nobody trading this. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put on the scanners today, just because of the. I'm going to put gainers and losers, because these banks are looking very sweet. Sure. Right, I'm just going to take, before the market opens, I'm going to take a quick bio break and be back for the open. All right, let's switch over. We've got less than a minute, so let's switch over to the regular session and see what happens at the bell. Well, I'll take a look at Deutsche Bank for you now, Kyle. It's already dropped down, so it's already down there at, in sympathy. It's down 5% on the day, Deutsche Bank. A lot of these banks are just, they're getting hammered. What I'm going to do is I'm going to look at both of these for gainers and losers, because some of you like to trade short. There's the bell. Well, if nothing's moving today except downwards flip jug, you have two options. You either short the market or sit on your hands and come back another day. A no trade day is not a bad day. You know, a no trade day is it's a break even day. And any day that you're not losing money is a good day. All the banks are halted. All the banks are just halted now. So FRC halted to the downside. Signature Bank. Oh, Signature Bank's not halted. And SI, Silvergate Capital halted, but not halted, but selling. Not going to be a look at that. So this is the top movers on the day. So the reds are the ones that are down. The greens are the ones that are up. So this is of the session. So it's a red day today. It's a red day in the market. All the big movers are moving to the downside. The question is, can you get into the short side while it's on short sale restriction? Because most of these banks are on short sale restriction. Barnes and Noble. Barnes and Noble popped up. I'll just be patient. I'm going to let the first 5 minutes trade, and if I'm going to trade today, it's going to be small size, unless I get the nice consistent mover. I'm going to put some of these banks on watch here. Yeah, so there's a potential bank run that they're worried about. Just listening to it on Bloomberg in the background. Barnes and Noble trying to make a move back up. Yeah, if you're shorting, a lot of people struggle with shorting because it's like looking at the world upside down. The same principle, you're looking for essentially the same patterns, but in reverse. And a lot of people struggle with that. So if you're looking for bull flags, it's the same thing as the bear flag, but just upside down, and vice versa. Barnes and Noble. I'm just going to have to get rid of some of this noise, which is like low volume stuff. There we go, Barnes and Noble. Signature Bank. FRC. What's that one? SBNY. Yeah, they're all halted to the downside. They've got SIVB's halted, Signature Bank's halted, First Republic's halted, but they're all halted to the downside. PSCW's halted. It's much the case. So look, the market is going to be selling off. All the banks are selling. You can't scalp. You can scalp short as long as it's not on the short sell restrictions list. Flipjob. That's the thing. It's you have to be more strategic about your entries. If you're trying to scalp short, it only works if it's not on short sale restriction list. And what you tend to find is if it is on short sale restriction list, there's a reason for that. So Amma Sheikh, the broker is Capital Markets Elite Group, and the platform is Dash Trader Pro. Yeah, when it's on short sale restriction, it's risky. It's a lot more difficult. It's a lot more difficult. Yeah, Bank of America is selling off as well. So what's actually happening is there's a potential bank run taking place right now. Everybody wants to get the shares out of the financial institutions because they see a potential financial collapse. That's what's on the news at the moment. The market's on edge amid SVB collapse. That's what they're saying. There's too much danger. Banking collapse. There's a knock-on effect because when you had Lehman Brothers collapse in 2008, did that affect the UK? Yes, it did. You saw that there was a downwards impact onto the European markets. Yes, so yes, indirectly it will have a knock-on effect because all of these banks are in bed together. FAS, if you think about it. So you're going to have Barclays and NatWest. They will have shareholdings in other banks. They're all in bed together. They're all in the same pot. They're all bits in the same pot. So if one bank collapses, it does have that domino effect, and that's what one of the other guys was saying earlier. Could this cause a domino effect in the financial sector? It certainly did in 2008. But when all the governments globally had to bail out their own national banks, I'm living in Ireland, and we're still paying for the bailout that the Irish government gave in 2008 today. That's what's that 15 years ago. Yeah, well, you're lucky. I was around when we had to bail the banks out in 2008. Yes, your mortgage application would be going on, and if I was you, I would wait because the rates. You'll probably get stung with your if this happens, mortgage rates will end up going up again, and you'll get stung with it. Okay, guys. Let's have a look at some of these banks that are halted to the downside, shall we? Oh, this one's down. Oh, there we go. Continuing to sell. The problem with this is getting an entry because it's just vomiting. And it's into another halt. This one's selling off. This is Zion Bank. Not quite as volatile as Signature Bank. This not halted yet, but it's at that halt level. Which screen extender do I use? Sorry, I don't know what you mean by which screen extender, Alistair. I've just got my port replicator, which I've already shared with you before. Go figure. I've got my laptop. I've got two of my monitors on the port replicator, and then the other one of my monitors plugged directly into my HDMI port on the laptop. So port replicator. I can't. I've shared it with you before, the port replicator, which I have. Right, RBC Capital maintains outperform. So there's just it's a red day. I mean, look at this: gainers and losers. It's all losers. Barnes and Noble and Unicisive are the two across the course of the day. Barnes and Noble and Silvergate Capital are the two gainers. Everything else is there's nothing moving to the upside, with the exception of Barnes and Noble. And quite frankly, I'm not really interested in trading Barnes and Noble right now. It doesn't meet my criteria for a good trade. But look, Alex, you do you, boo boo. So all these banks are just selling off. FRC. $43. So that halted at 43. That'll come back at 48. That's First Republic. PacWest Bank, that halted at 43, so that's the same. We'll come back at 48. Bank of America's not halted, so that's probably not as exposed as the rest. Zion Bank, no, it's not halted. That's okay. SBNY, so Signature Bank, that's halted at 41. So this should be resumed now. Okay. Oh, stop. Straight into another halt. I didn't even have time to get an order in place. The problem with this is getting an order that's going to come back and collect you because it's on short sale restriction. It's just going to be virtually impossible. You've got to find a nice consolidation spot. So that's halted to the downside again. The banks are just absolutely hemorrhaging all over everywhere. So yeah, Bank of America, whilst it's down, it's only down 5% in comparison to everything else, which, you know, everything else is down huge amounts. I mean, we're looking at SVB Financials down 80%. We're looking at First Republic that is down 45%. PacWest is down 32%. Signature Bank 26%. You know, Bank of America 5%. It's less affected because it's an institutional bank as opposed to some of these more regional. I'll have a look and I'll message you in the Discord later, Alistair, and with the same details. Okay, so the SVB 2033 bond spread widens to over 1,000 basis points, 1,061 basis points. So signaling extreme distress. Yeah. Do you know what? Today's not a good day to try and go long on anything. Yeah, and let's have a look at the markets. Let's have a look at the markets. So we'll come back to the banks and the debacle that is the markets, the financial sector at the moment. You'd think that the inverse ETFs would be great for the financial markets. Is there an inverse ETF? That's so this is the SPY. This is the State Street Spider S&P 500 ETF. It tracks the S&P 500, and this is down right now, 0.9%. So another bad day at the office for the markets. If you look at this on the 15, you can see had a horrible day yesterday. We got the unemployment day, US unemployment data. It actually rallied into the open, and then it just vomited and sold off the whole day. And today, with this bank run, effectively, all the banks selling off, it's going to pull the market down. So that's the overall market. The Russell index is hemorrhaging even worse. This is nearly 2% down on the day. So the Russell index is the small cap index. So some of these banks would fit into that into that category rather than the S&P 500. We've got the Nasdaq hemorrhaging down as well. So if you don't know how to short, or you're in a cash account, go and get yourself a beer. Go and get yourself a, go and do something else. Go and pump some iron at the gym, or, go for a walk. Take yourself for a day out. It's not a day if you're in a cash account or you're a long bias trader. This is not the day to be trading. It really isn't. Yeah, go long on inverses, Penn State. Absolutely. You know why these banks are down? Yeah. So SVB SVB's basically looking for a government bailout because it's and even Silvergate going to the south side now. SVB's looking for a bailout because it's basically poorly managed. I would say no. Absolutely not. Buying stocks long, it's probably not a good day today to do that. There's not. I've got long and short. I've got gainers and losers on the scanners in front of you. The red ones are losers. The green ones are gainers. So we've got Barnes and Noble at 241 right now, 40% up. That's the only thing in the top 10 that's actually a gainer in terms of movers. We've got Intuitive Machines, which is 15% up. That could be of interest, but we'll see. And then Unicisive. Both Unicisive and Intuitive Machines were movers yesterday. And look, I'm not going to take any positions that are not absolutely nailed on because I'm already over gold. And my mantra is get green, stay green, get to gold, and get out. We could have could we have more downside? We're going to have more downside. Look at the banks. So Pacific West, it's halted to the downside. Let's have a look at Deutsche Bank. Deutsche Bank. Did I just buy 300 shares by accident? I think I'm not. I'm not holding that, that's for sure. If I can get 9, I'll get out. Get 1 more cent. Pay for the trade. I'll get out anyway. I accidentally bought shares long on Deutsche Bank there. 300 shares. Oh, Signature. No. We've got potential for. Yeah, we're still halted pending news on the big catalyst on this one. Oh, stop this. Yeah, so $260 it was yesterday. SIVB, it's now $40 a share, and it's still not resumed. But FRC, look at the volatility on this. Halts down, gap down, halt down, gap down, halt up. I'm not seeing any data on the level 1 or level 2 as to resumption. But this is probably going to gap down. Yeah, both probably a good day to turn it off. Walk away. It's a small green day. There's not a lot. If you're a long bias trader, there's not much to trade. Today's a day for shorting. If you're a short bias trader, look for an entry. The problem is all these banks are short sale restrictions, so you can't just sell. You have to put a limit sell order above the action and hope it collects you. You just can't. You can't sell. So we've got Signature Bank is halted to the upside. We've got First Republic Bank is halted to the upside. PacWest is halted to the downside. Wow, what a day in the financial sector. I think it's going to be one of those days. And quite frankly, I don't... buying puts, good day to buy puts, but the question is... I say it's a good day to buy puts, but you're not going to get good prices. The volatility that you're getting is on the options market now. Yesterday would have been a very good day to buy puts. Today, You can buy them intraday. You can day trade options today, buy puts maybe. Zion Bank is also Zion Bank also. Oh, this isn't halted. So Zion Bank isn't halted. Zion Bank's moving to the upside now. It's above the VWAP. Silvergate Capital's above the VWAP. Nice day for a walk, Jack. 100%. The sun's shining. I've got blue fluffy blue skies and fluffy clouds. So FRC, that's got volatility, and do you know what? It's going to be a risky day to trade any of these today. It's probably a good day to just because that halted up, gapped up. Now it's moving up again. 56.91 is the halt level. It's up to into another halt. My goodness, this is fun. Banks are in meltdown. It's one of those days, guys. Don't like that tune. Yeah, commodities. All the bond markets are all down. UK, German, France. Okay, look, there's nothing to trade today, guys. It's a bloodbath. Let's have a look at the rest of these banks. And have we got resumed? No, still not resumed from pre-market on SVB. This one's up. Now I'm kind of wondering, do we get a bounce on these banks, or is it time to go long or short? Yeah, you're probably better off doing it that way. No trade day. Just stay out of it. It's pre-market was okay. Right now it's just so volatile. It might get delisted. You're absolutely right, Jack. It depends on what the news is. If they file for bankruptcy, they probably won't get delisted straight away if you file for bankruptcy or Chapter 11 or something. But I'll be very. They're looking to raise capital. They're looking for investors. They're looking to sell themselves in effect. But we'll see. Let's see Barnes and Noble. Barnes and Noble moved up, then pulled back. So that's now feeling the effects of the market. Let's have a look at Intuitive Machines. Intuitive Machines spreads on this 30 cents, range 72 cents. Yeah, there you go. So Silicon Valley Bank, it's halted, and that's what they're calling in the media now the contagion effect. Yeah, I mean, if I look at some of these, they're now halting to the upside. So you got to, if you're playing it, play it right. This is Signature Bank halted to the upside. This has gone from your $15 move from the bounce on the bottom. $15 move. So it's like the bottom here it's currently halted at 74.25, but it bottomed out at 61.37. So it's a $13 move, but still, that's a big move. He's taking 1,000 shares there. You made yourself 13,000 bucks, but it's judging the bottoms and judging the tops. It's tough day today. Well, I'm just gonna walk. I'm gonna lock my montage now. I'm not seeing anything that is floating my boat. I'm gonna lock my montage, have an early bath, call it a day, and do one. I'm gonna take the dog for a nice long walk while it's sunny. Go and get some shopping done. I think there's not a lot else to do. So you know my mantra: get green, stay green, get to goal and get out. So have a good weekend, guys. I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to lock it up, call it a day, watch the bloodbath, get a bottle of wine and watch the bloodbath from the comfort of my sofa. Keep Bloomberg on and CNBC. We'll see what transpires. First Republic halted for volatility. Yes, they're all halted. I've got First Republic, Pacific West, Standard Bank, Bank of so many are actually halted at the moment to the upside right now. So it seems to get a bit of a bounce on some of these banks to the upside. So maybe look for that bounce as a possibility. So let's have a look at Signature Bank, which is the what I'm looking at here. If this breaks, I want to see this come back, maybe test the VWAP. If it continues to move up, break 75, this could be a quick long, worth scalping. It is on short sale restriction, so going short on it's going to be difficult, in particular with the volatility that we're seeing. First Republic is halted to the upside, similar situation. You could put a sell order there at maybe $67, $68. It's looking like it's probably going to resume. Well, it's not getting no data on the resumption. So that's First Republic Bank, and Zion Bank is moving to the upside, so could be interesting. Moving with good volatility. This has moved from 34 up to good $4 move so far today. So Zion Bank could be worth a long position right now. It seems to be bouncing at the bottom. On the 60-minute time frame, it's a nice bullish pattern. So you look at the multiple time frames. 60-minute, you've got the hammer candle here, and it's broken new high. So maybe try and get the whole dollar, maybe even up to go green on the day. Could be worth a shot. So that's Zion Bank, a little less volatile than some of the others. We've got Bank of America's moving up as well, a little less volatile, and Pacific West Bank is on to the upside. When that resumes, maybe you look for scalp. But yeah, I think I'm going to just call it a day, knock it on the head, come back on Monday, and have a good weekend. So you guys have a great weekend, and I'll drop the today's trade recaps. I've recorded them, so you'll be able to watch them in real time a little bit later. So I've got 2 to drop. I've got the small account, I've got the main account, and both pretty much at the same price. So I'm happy with the day's work. Another big day today. So see you Monday, an hour before the market opens. In the meantime, have a good weekend, guys, and take it easy. Catch you later.